Alright, so we had Nicole go ahead and stitch the top, stitch in the Velcro. So again, we've had the templates from the old Death Trooper Scout. So they're pretty much the same. I think you're a little taller though, right? Now you are. So they're really close to the same height. So once we put them on, hopefully these should be, I can't remember exactly how far from the knee down, but we want to get it, it's usually about calf high. So your calf is probably a good 3-4 inches. So as long as it's somewhere within your calf, so below the knee and somewhere above the bottom of the calf, so somewhere in there. So hopefully once we get these done, we get her in the actual whole flight suit, then we'll make sure that these are high enough. If not,
we can resell them.
We can always make new ones.
Mm-hmm.
So we got that done. We've got the tops done. We went ahead and cut the strips for the front. We're going to glue them in. We went ahead and did the dog bones and did the stitching. I don't know if you call them chevrons or whatever, but we went ahead and did those. And then all we got to do, we'll glue this one in first, the front, glue that one in. And then once that's in, then we'll glue the back in. So basically we don't want, where I'm holding it is where we want to glue. So from here and here, so that way once you undo it, it pretty much, it'll open up like that and you can put your foot in. Go ahead and Velcro it back on. So you can put your foot in and you can tie the boot or whatever, however you want to wear it. So we'll do those real quick. So we'll take this off so it's out of the way. But we'll do one boot at a time. Oh, and also we went ahead and I have little
shims.
I guess you call them shims for the inside of the holster. So I went ahead and drilled the holes basically in the corners. I went ahead and burnt the holes with the iron, and then I'm going to put these in the inside with rivets, and then I'm going to attach them. So this is a shim in the inside, and it kind of helps it just stay up so it's rigid. So I'll show you that in a second. Go ahead and put that down. So we'll move this out of the way. So now move this over. So go ahead and hold the boot like this. I'm going to move this one so we don't spray the wrong one. Well, not that it matters. So the vinyl side will be down. She's going to spray that. Again, we'll start in the middle and then work our way out.
I'm just going to spray in the middle then.
The middle's fine. So I'm just going to throw a little bit of glue. She's going to hold it. I'm going to try to find the middle of this. So right in here. Now I'm just going to put it on. Okay, rub the tip. There you go.
I didn't say anything.
Alright. So now that that's on, now we can do either side. So go ahead and
I'm going to spray.
Yeah, go ahead and spray it. I'm spray the tip too. Alright, so now I'll just go ahead and do this whole thing. We'll measure it real quick so I know exactly how far to go out. And then I'll just go ahead and glue it. And then I'm going to hold it down and then she'll rub it. Make sure it's good. There you go. Okay, let me see. So there you go. There's that one side. Now we'll do the other side. And it'll be just a little bit further. Go ahead and, so I'm holding it in, or holding it this way. She's making sure it's all the way to the edge, and we're getting out any bubbles that might be in it while we're rubbing it. So that one's done. So there's the tip. So you can only see a little bit of wrinkling here, and just one spot. There's just a little bit of wrinkling, and I guarantee once you start wearing these, it's going to get a little bit of dirt in there. You won't even notice that.
Mm-hmm.
So now we'll do the other boot. We'll do the same thing. Okay, go ahead and spray the middle real quick. Okay, got the boot. Okay, rub that.
So,
Okay. Alright, so now we did the same thing.
The red person is this person texting me. I don't know who they are.
Oh, go ahead and spray it.
Look in this box.
Now go ahead and glue overlap it just a little bit. Grab the end, pull it down while she makes sure that it's all the way in there. This one's a little bit longer than the other one, so I might have to put a little bit more glue here.
Oh, it's sprayed already. Yeah.
Ah. Okay, hopefully we didn't go too short on this side.
They keep calling.
Which it overlaps just a little bit, so
Okay.
go ahead and spray it.
Oh, got your hand, sorry.
That's okay, I got 9 more.
9 hands?
Well, fingers. Technically, you only got my thumb. Alright. Okay, so now if you look at this one, we can still see the mark here, but we'll check it. A little bit of a wrinkling here and here and here, but really far away from here, I can't see it. Up close, I can. So now we'll go ahead and, since this side doesn't have the holster in, we'll go ahead and glue this one in. So what I'm going to do, I went ahead and put all these in so they're out of the way. So once we glue, we don't want to accidentally glue any of the shoelaces to this. So what I normally do is I make sure it's attached, and then I make sure, and what I mean by attached is the Velcro's attached, and that it's centered in the back, because we're more worried about the back than we are the front. So I'll hold one side down. Oh, we'll
Right
spray
up
that.
here?
Yep, spray it. That's fine. Yep. And then that'll go about here. So if I need more, I can always come in here and do more. And I'll just hold it right here. Oops.
That's alright, it will come straight up.
Alright, now we'll flip it over. Do the same thing on the other side. This is a lot better than, remember how I used to do with Chicago screws?
Mm-hmm.
So when we, I thought she was good. When I have to redo my wife's boots, so I'll probably take the Chicago screws out and just do it this way. I used to have, if you look, there's holes here. I used to have the Chicago screws holding this in. Now I just glue it. So now those should be done. So I undo it. So now if you want to, you can come back here and glue it just a little bit more. But you want to be able to kind of bring it forward so that you could tie your shoes. So you don't really want to go back too far. Mainly for this reason, go ahead and Velcro it. That once you put the Velcro on, it's going to hold it. So you don't have to go back real far. Just this little tip area right here. That's all you really need, because this isn't going to come off. Now the dog bone. So we just, basically, we want to try to keep it to where it's not overlapping into the sole. And then we want to try to cover up as much of whatever's showing right here. We might have to go through this.
Mm-hmm.
If you can, I don't know, and try to make that just a tiny bit straighter, see that?
Cut it?
No, not right now. So, with that being said, she's going to spray one side and we'll put it in. So we kind of want to, when we put it in, we're just going to put it like this. Make sure, we'll do a little bit of glue here. Actually we'll just do it here, we won't really worry about that. When we put it in, we want to get it to right here, so we don't want it too far forward.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll put it right there on that side, and then I'll bring it over and do the same thing on the other side.
Okay,
Go
so
ahead and
this
glue
side
that.
right here?
Yep, and I'll glue right in here.
Are you sure this side? Or is it this side?
Hmm.
This side.
Hold it, let me see. So these are a little bit different. We'll
Yeah.
we'll do it that way.
Okay.
So, yeah, this
This
side.
side.
So we'll flip it that way. Okay. Now you bring it over here, and then I'm going to do the same thing. She's going to spray it, and then I'm going to glue it down. And I'm mostly just doing it a little bit on that strip because it overlap, and then just on the boot leather. Nothing on where what do you call the strings or the, where you tie it, the laces, there you go. So if you want to, you can always come in here and glue it just a little bit more, which we will right now. So we're just gonna throw a little bit here, and I'll throw just a tiny bit here. Glue it down. Hold it on this side. I'll do the same thing with that side. Go ahead. So now both sides are glued down. So this whole thing, other than the front just a little bit, but that's fine as long as it's glued down. You don't want to put too much super glue in there because it will run down. So if you want to try that on, see how that works. Now we'll do we've already done the front. We won't glue it on. We'll put this on first. I'll move that out of the way. So you're gonna hold this in. Put one in. I'll put the second one in. Okay. Hold on. Just like this. I don't know if this is the right one.
I know. It might be the other. Is it the other one?
I think so. Yep, it's longer. There we go.
Better.
Perfect.
Do you have the? Yeah.
Move it down right there. So you're gonna have to undo that, the wire. So let's go this way. Keep going. Okay, now let me get the other washer. Okay.
Oh,
Fit you? Good.
those look cute.
And before I go any further, make sure the holster is actually facing the right way and you don't have it upside down. So now, we'll just put one in for now. But actually, let me make sure the holes, go ahead and put a second one in so we can make sure the holes are lined up. Okay, we did it. First time go.
Boom.
Wait, I'm gonna go this way. No, no, no. You go your way. Pull it towards me. Pull this forward. I'm gonna tilt it forward. Bring it forward. That's loose. Okay, so now that one is done. Let's look at it real quick. So we go ahead
Where's the
and
boot?
hit the Velcro.
So should I trim that, you think? I can trim it and glue also, so the thread doesn't come out.
Let's go forward just a little bit. That's
Okay.
weird. Here,
Mm.
let me go up just a tiny bit. So we just noticed something. Okay. So here it's just a tiny bit off. That's fine. So hold, well, actually, here, you get on this side, you cut it. I'll hold it and just, the only thing is though, you're gonna have to hurry up and sew it again.
I'm gonna glue it.
Okay.
It just needs to, just a little.
Let's, you wanna go straight or no? To see like that angle?
Is it gonna cover the boot?
Let's see real quick.
That's what I was thinking of, and I don't think it's gonna be noticeable if it has to stay. Oh, that can come off for sure, look at that. That's long.
Yep, so we'll just trim it till it's straight. So with this, you don't ever want to cut the top, you want to cut the bottom, because you fold the top over and you sew it, you'd have to just tear it all the way back apart just to redo it. So the only thing I'm hoping, and actually no. So this rivet, there's a rivet here, there's 4 rivets in there. The actual rivet, hold it, is hitting up against here, so it'll never touch her skin. And that's one thing you don't really want this rivet. So this one's gonna be high enough up where it won't touch her calf, and these bottom 2 will be far enough down where they're actually pressing up against the boot. So looking down into here, I notice, let me straighten this out back here first. There we go. So this is a really big holster for a female. So most males will be bigger here, so this holster will actually fit normal. I could have cut it a lot more, and I probably should have, but the only problem is if you cut it here, you kind of got to cut it in the back, and then it leaves it really close to where these edges are. So it's nothing that'll stop you from, it depends on the GML. Let me actually turn it just, there we go. Because they might think it's just a tiny bit crooked to the front, but other than that, it looks fine. Yeah, we probably could have cut a little bit, maybe 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch off here, and then made these go in a little bit more. It might have made it just a little bit straighter, but looking at it, it's going to be fine. Once you put it on, you won't even notice that it's riding just a little bit forward. Can you tell?
No, it looks flush to me.
Okay, so now this is going to be a tricky part. So this side's flat, so we'll lay this side down first, and then we'll go ahead and come on this side. We'll go ahead and glue here again, and then we'll spray it. Go ahead and spray it. So I'm going to have to, it just went down some, so I'm going to have to push it up just a tiny bit. Alright, so there, it's on that side. Now we'll do the same thing with this one, but as you can tell, it's hitting the thing. So go ahead and spray, and then I'll have you do the, see where it needs to go, the glue.
Right here?
Yep, and then go up too, up
Tell
right
me.
in here. There you go.
Like that?
Yep.
Is that
go
fine?
just a little bit more.
Right here?
Yep. Okay, now grab the bottom right there. Okay. So there's a front and back. Now the dog bone. Hopefully we did it right where it will make everything, and then we probably could have went a little bit higher up too, because see now the thing's hitting there, but nothing that'll, so we'll do this side first real quick. So spray here, do it here, and I'll let you. Okay, now that side's in. Now we'll bring it this way, and it'll be just like that. So go ahead and spray that. Get it one more right here. There you go. Okay, now we'll do a little bit here. That's nice and warm. Now we'll do the other side. You hit the.
Oh, sorry.
It's alright. Okay, so now she can try this boot on real quick. But first, you can go ahead and pause it. So there's the boot, all done. So it's got a little bit, but we can always stuff something in there, like another piece of that extra in there on the inside. Okay.